and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you, getting into what I'm calling vacation spending. So we were on vacation the first week of October. We went to Pigeon. We had 2 hotel rooms, a hotel room for me and my husband, and a hotel room for my 2 adult sons. Family vacation. My parents were there with us, and they had their own room, and they took care of their own expenses except for one item, which is starred right here. Everything else is what we spend the whole time. Now, this is how behind the scenes I track my budget. I use the highlighter method to find out or to figure out what category everything belongs in. I have 6 categories I work from. My pink is the grocery household. Blue is eating out. Green, or this mint green, is miscellaneous. Orange is gasoline. And pink is, or not pink, purple is copay, and yellow is unbudgeted, meaning not planned, but still spent the money anyway. Now I got to figure out how to pay it. Everything went on the credit card, and after all the transactions went from pending to charge on a credit card, I took what points we had and moved them to cash, and then paid a portion of the credit card. Now I still owe money on the credit card for a lot of these transactions, and we're going to get into all of that. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. Hopefully this helps you kind of figure out how you are going to work your budget in vacation mode. It's something you have to track every day while you're on vacation, or it gets overwhelming. Keep every receipt is how I did it. I scan all my receipts into Fetch. I will link I'll put my Fetch rewards and my, what's the other one called? Receipt Hog rewards in the description box below. And if you sign up through my links, then you get extra points, I get extra points, and I've already cashed out $50 with Amazon this year for the Fetch rewards, and I'm working my way up to the $40 on Amazon gift card from Receipt Hog, and I should have that by the end of the year, I hope. So we'll see what happens, but right now this is where we're at for vacation, and I kind of wanted to go over my thought process. So you typically track everything in my planner here that you normally see on my channel. This is October, and I track everything here, but I also run the same kind of log in the behind it to keep a running log on what I owe on my credit card. So when I got to a certain point, which was right here, because our vacation started on a Monday, I went ahead and started with the 6th back and got that total. I did make a payment on the 7th, so I actually started with the 7th, which is the day we drove out of town. And this is the balance I had on the credit card that I owed for all that spending. So I kind of left it on the credit card and waited till I got back to make decisions. So $1,374.27 is kind of where I was at when I left for our vacation. And I just put it here at the top, and I call it balance forward. Anytime I kind of move something from one date to another, I just call it balance forward. So this is what we owed right before we left on vacation, and everything that happened here happened the day of vacation. So I did have to run to the pharmacy and pick up a prescription. Before we headed out of town, we picked up a bag of ice and things like that. So we're going to get into these details on what we spent, and I'm going to do it exactly the way I do my normal check-in. So we have grocery household, restaurants, miscellaneous, gasoline, and unbudgeted. So right here, I didn't have a lot of grocery stuff, but I did pick up a few things while we were out of town in order to make things a little more comfortable in the hotel room. I forgot some hand lotion. I forgot a couple of things, but while we were traveling, we filled our cooler with drinks that we already had and got a bag of ice, which was $2.29 at the grocery store here, and then we got on the road. Before we got on the road, after we got on the road and we got to the hotel, I went to the closest grocery store we had, which was Food City, 2838, and bought stuff for me. I actually bought something for my mom that night as well. So I got lotion. I needed something else. I can't remember. And my mom loves to have chocolate milk in the morning, so she's got to have her Hershey's. And so She's got to have it. So she does that everywhere she goes. She buys extra bottles of Hershey's, and you can't get them small. So, no travel size, which is hilarious to me. So yeah, we have Hershey syrup that she wanted, and I think I can't remember what else we got, but there was something else, and that was $28.38, and then $5.86. So we didn't have like a whole case of water with water bottles, and so I went ahead and asked my husband to pick up a case of water. He picked up the largest one you can get. It was $5.86, and we split it between my room, my son's room, and my parents' room. So that was everything grocery household we spent on vacation for our hotel room. Okay, and that was $36.53. So a lot of the stuff I bought ahead of time before we left, we did take with us. We didn't forget it. That's what it was. One of my sons takes Miralax to help him. He has to take it every day, and we forgot to bring his big bottle of Miralax with us. So I went to the store and got a smaller bottle. So there you go. That's what we bought. Oh, I know, too much information, but we'll be all right. Okay, next we have the longest list, because when you're on vacation, what do? You eat out. So sometimes we DoorDash when we for eating out, and sometimes we just went out to a restaurant. So we have here Subway. Before we got on the road, my husband and I were busy running around, and there was a Subway sandwich, Subway shop, so we went and got Subway sandwiches. And then we went to a place called Huck Finn's. Now these two actually belong together. That was the tip, and that was the meal for 4 adults, $96.59 plus the $15, and that is here. And then I forgot the tip, so I put it in right there. That's why it's separated. It was just my mistake. I just completely forgot to put the tip when I totaled it together. Next we have $74.75 at Papa John's. That was for all 6 of us. My parents ate with us. They actually gave me $20 cash, so they did pay me for their pizza, and then the rest of it was ours, but I used that to pay back the credit card, or I'm supposed to use it to pay back the credit card. I don't know if I have. I don't have a bank here, so I can't really put the cash into the bank, so no worries. Anyways, so $74.75, and then that was Papa John's. And then later, after pizza, my husband and I just kind of went out, and he wanted to do some tastings at Junction 35, which we'll get to in a little bit. But next door, I wanted ice cream cone, and it's the big like ice cream and waffle cone and everything you can imagine, just yummy and dreamy. So Cream and Sugar was the name of the place, and it was $17.78. Then my dad was curious about the app I have with DoorDash, so he was like, "Can you order some Five Guys for us?" I was like, "Okay." Five Guys does not travel well, at least their fries don't. And so I'm like, "Well, I'll do it," but he's like, "Okay." So first of all, they're expensive as it is, and then to do a $10 tip on top of it, I think is what my dad did. I was like, I don't know. I don't think that was good value, but that's okay. $51.76 is what we spent there, and my dad's supposed to pay me cash back for that. We haven't done that yet, but I haven't seen my parents face to face since we got back. We spent a lot of time together on vacation, and so we all needed a break, and they're actually coming over tonight for pizza night, Friday night. And yeah, so that is going to be fun, and get back together and talk and stuff. So that'll be good. Let's see. The next thing I have is Margaritaville. So if you know Jimmy Buffett and you like his music, and one of his popular songs is Cheeseburger in Paradise. So we've gone once before, and last year when we went, and we went again this time, had a great time. Went to Margaritaville, got cheeseburgers in Paradise and key lime pie, which is popular there as well. And that was $76.30. That was 2 beers plus the 2 cheeseburgers plus the tip. And that was that. And then we had Ripley's Gatlinburg food. Okay, so $17.90. We bought chips, snacks, and drinks for everybody so that we could hold ourselves over until we can get to the restaurant across the street once we were done with the actual exhibits at the Ripley's Aquarium in Gatlinburg. We spent the whole day in Gatlinburg. So that was a little bit of food there. So I took it out of restaurants. And then No Way Jose, that's where we actually had our lunch, dinner, late lunch, early dinner, $74.36 for 4 adults, including tip. And that was a pretty good restaurant, No Way Jose, if you're in Gatlinburg. I liked it. It was decent food. And then we had Junction 35 for $48.10. Me and my husband had a little date night ourselves, and that's what we spent there. And essentially it was an appetizer and a burger, and I cut the burger 4 ways into like little sandwiches, and I think it was a pulled pork nacho, and that pulled pork nacho was amazing. Oh my gosh. And the queso and all the stuff. It was just like, I would just go back and just have that as a meal by itself and share that with my husband, because that was really, really good. I normally don't do that often, but yeah, that one was amazing. So I really enjoyed that. And for $48.10 plus the burger, and I think my husband had 2 drinks. I just drank water. I thought with tip, that was a really good deal at that restaurant. So pretty good. And then we need to flip over here on this side. Cinnaholic. That was if you ever heard of Cinnabon, you kind of get the idea. They freshly make your own cinnamon bun kind of thing with specific toppings that you can put on it. I think my husband got Meemaw's pecan pie cinnamon bun thing. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And it had so much icing, like it could have covered 2. Like she poured the whole ladle on top of it. I was like, oh, good Lord. And then mine was apple fritter, which didn't get a lot of icing, but it got like the apple chunks and the cinnamon and all that stuff. And that was pretty good, but it's pretty expensive. And that was $16.89 for those 2 items. And that was all we got. But they were like this big around. So they weren't small. And you should not eat this at night before bed. I would wait till morning, or I would split it up or get in the afternoon as a dessert and share one, because it was a lot. It was a lot. And then on the way back home, we left Gatlinburg. Checkout was at 11. And on the way home, we stopped at a Burger King and got something to eat for $17.15. And then that night, my sons ordered their Papa John's pizza. And because it was still travel day, I counted it that night. And I didn't count my new budget until the 12th. So that was everything on vacation for restaurants. That was all our eating out. That's a lot of eating out. But when you're on vacation, you're paying vacation prices, tourist area prices, and things like that. So let's go ahead and total up what we spent on restaurants for vacation. And maybe my totals here could help guide you in a 5-day vacation, 4 nights, 5 days, I guess it is. And we traveled 3 hours from our house. So that might give you a good idea on what you can save up for your next vacation for a family of 2 or 3, I guess. I know it's 4 adults in ours, but you know, my sons are adults and they kind of do their own thing and sometimes do their own spending. I know my oldest son bought some stuff for himself and things like that. So that's not included on this. So we're going to total this up and I'll be right back. All right, so we spent $560.65. Oh, that's a lot of money for eating out. But again, touristy prices, touristy area, money for restaurants is going to be a lot. All right, so now that I have that done, we're going to go through the miscellaneous stuff. So miscellaneous was like souvenirs, t-shirts, maybe some tickets to something we didn't plan on going, or we planned, but we just decided to categorize it miscellaneous. So that's what we're doing here. So the first miscellaneous item I have is a Christmas t-shirt that's long sleeve for my father-in-law from Huck Finn's. Huck Finn's is his favorite restaurant down there, and he can't travel down there anymore, and his health won't let him. And so he missed that. And so we decided to give him a souvenir from there. And then the next thing we have is $66.93. So the Island Trading Post. My youngest son, who's 20, adult son, I always buy him some t-shirts, and we bought 2 really good quality t-shirts, and they were totaled together was $66.39. And they have some funny sayings or something that's kind of relatable to the national parks, and a design that he really likes. He's very picky about his shirts. He either wants a solid color, or he wants something funny from Lego on there, or he wants something national park related. So that's kind of what we look for. And I always buy a couple shirts from at the Island, which is in Pigeon Forge at the Trading Post, which is really cool. It's in the back of the Island, so once you go all the way as far as you can, you'll see it there with a little bear, or a big bear sitting out front. I love that place. All kinds of neat stuff in there. And then we spent the next one, $117.27. Again, inflation prices for t-shirts, for quality t-shirts, or long sleeve t-shirts, which is what I got. And then we got 2 short sleeve t-shirts. I got a t-shirt, my husband got a t-shirt, and then my father-in-law got a t-shirt. And it was like a funny pirate retirement t-shirt and never want to grow up t-shirt. So from Jimmy Buffett's merchandise store. And mine just says Margaritaville on it, and it's tie-dyed, which is really cool. And you can tell how old I am there. And I wasn't even born in the 60s. But I grew up around tie-dye a lot from others. And then what else? And then my husband got a funny shirt. So that is what we got there. And the 3 items were $117.27. The next thing we have is $25.19. I bought a book, and I forgot to give it to little Ellie. I was going to read it to her this week, and I didn't do it. And I bought this book at the aquarium that was really, really cute. And so hopefully I'll get that to her on Sunday at church. And then $10 for parking at the parking garage there in Gatlinburg, while we were in Gatlinburg, because the aquarium is in Gatlinburg, which is only not far, maybe 20-30 minutes from Pigeon Forge itself. It's right down the road, and it's really, really nice. So we like going there. It's always busy. Very heavy traffic, but we still like going there and doing all the things. So I'm going to total this up. I'll be right back. All right, so we have $241.33 is what we spent. And fortunately and unfortunately. So the plan was for all this spending to be under $4,000. And to be honest, we are under $4,000. That is good. I include the hotel, all the spending, and everything like that. But where I have the money tied up at, I don't want to move it out from there. So now I'm trying to find another way to pay for it, which is why it's still sitting on the credit card. It's not that I don't have the money for it. I do. I'm just still thinking on it. So the last thing we have is unbudgeted. No, not the last thing. Let's go to gasoline. We only had 2 gas purchases, which is surprising for where we were at. So we had $2.85.56, and then we had this $31.32. So $2.85.56 was to top off the tank and have a full tank of gas before we left our house on our way to our 3-hour drive to Pigeon Forge. So that was $2.28.56 and $31.32. So the next day after we got to Pigeon Forge, my husband went and got gas because I wanted him and he wanted to have a full tank of gas before he left Pigeon Forge to go to Cades Cove. If you've never been to Cades Cove, it's part of the national parks and forestry and stuff. And a lot of people go there to look for like wildlife like deer and bear and turkey and all that stuff. But it's a beautiful winding early settlers kind of drive through the national park, and you're nowhere near gas stations. And one year we went and we were coasting as much as we could and hoping we got back to Gatlinburg with some gas in the gas tank because we did not pay attention. So we spent $59.88 for gas while we were there. And ever since, we talked about going back, like, we got to get full tank of gas before we leave because I'm not going through that again. All right, now the unbudgeted. So let's go through that. $184.52. That was Junction 35. So Junction 35 is actually a distillery. My husband, he enjoys a drink and things once in a while. And you have Old Smoky. You have all these different distilleries. There's like 10 or 12 of them there in between Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. And they're very entertaining. They do taste testings. I think right down from where we were at was a wine tasting place, which I don't drink, so didn't want any wine, and my husband doesn't really drink wine. But anyways, they had this buy 5, get your 6th one free kind of thing. And we knew we wouldn't be back for a year or more. So I looked at him, I said, are there things here that you can't get at home? He said, yes. And do you want to try them? He said, yes. So he did some tastings and then found some things that he liked. So he literally bought 6 total bottles. So 5 bottles he paid for, 1 was free. And it was the cheapest one they got free, as always. And so that is why this amount is so high, because it's several bottles. Now that will last him an entire year or more, maybe year and a half, before he finishes them all. $184.52 is what we spent. I basically said happy birthday, whatever, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, whatever the holiday was. It's like, you're not getting anything else for the rest of the year because you just spent it all. And we both laughed about it. He's like, yeah, I want to do that. I said, okay. The next thing we have is some tickets we bought to Hollywood Star Cars for $67. Is it 02 or 12? I think it's 12. It might be 02. Not sure, and this might explain something. Hold on a second. So glad I'm doing this video because I did not catch this. I am 10 cents off somewhere, and I think I just found it. That's not a 12. That's a 2. That's a 0. My handwriting's horrible. I usually can recognize what I do, but there we go. All right, 6702 were the tickets to Hollywood Star Cars, and that was so much fun. It had everything from all the Fast and Furious movies to John Wick's motorcycle to Andy Griffith's car from the Andy Griffith show, the police car. And then they had one of Elvis's cars, one of Dolly Parton's cars. They had race cars. They had a Batman car. They had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. car. They had all these cars from Hollywood, and it was really neat to walk around and see all these things, take pictures. They even had one stage from the movie Twister, and it actually had lightning and wind, not wind, but the sounds of wind and stuff like that. So it was very fun to go around there and look at all these cars. Now, $875.56 twice is my hotel room with my husband, and then my son's hotel room. And that's what it cost the first week of October. It was actually cheaper than the last time we did it, which was the first week of November. And we did a Spring Hill Suites of the Marriott brand, not the Fairfield Inn, which is what we used this time. It's a lot of money. But last time I spent $2,400 in hotel rooms. This time we did not spend as much. $875.56 times 2 is $1,751. So that saved us quite a bit of money using a different hotel, lower tier hotel. It's still just as nice and pretty much the same amenities and stuff like that, but definitely cheaper. And I really did like that. Now, you're not going to see on here listed, but this is, if you remember back in the previous month in September, my dad and I bought our tickets for some of our activities. And the one thing I paid for was 6 tickets to the Gatlinburg Aquarium for 6 adults. And it was $270.33 when I bought them. And that was part of the number that you see here that I balanced forward. That's included in that. So that is that. So now we're going to wrap up our vacation video. Now that you know everything we spent, where we went, all the things, I might put a montage of pictures at the end of this video so you can kind of see what we did and vacation stuff. So I already totaled these two together, 270.33 and the 67.02 and the 184.52. So this was $2,272.99. It's different what I have from my notes, but again, I did make an error by 10 cents. I don't know. Anyway, regardless, here we go. So that was my total spending. So we're going to add all the categories up. 36.56 plus the 59.88, 560.65 plus 241.33, and $2,272.99. There we go. So we spent in total $3,171.38. Yep, that's where that dime I lost earlier when I was kind of reviewing for next week's closeout video for the month of October. I was like, I lost 10 cents somewhere, or there's something 10 cents wrong, and I found it. It's here in the vacation part. So I'm glad I went over all of this with you. My dad will probably pay me for this when I finally remind him that I spent this money, and I'm sure he'll take care of that. But that was our vacation, $3,171.38 for a family of 4 adults in Pigeon Forge. Obviously, most of it was eating out, a few souvenirs, tickets to a few things, and we had a blast spending time with family and built a lot of memories to go along with it, and just so glad we could enjoy ourselves. So, oh, before I go, I do have a payment. You probably already saw that. I did cash my points. So let's see. I made this payment, and let me go to my others. So this payment was actually for all the spending from the previous week before we went on vacation. And I can show you that. Okay, so I have my October, and I'm not sure what I did here. And I think I might have done something wrong, which is why I probably owe more than I realized. And things have been a little off. But I just said that we had $3,178.38, which is right here. And I wrote 48. I need to fix that. 38. And then that makes that 3,171.38 minus 24,000. 24,000 is my actual credit limit, so that makes that a 6. So let's make that a 6. Okay. So this was supposed to be a payment of spending that was part of this. All right, which lowered everything down, but for some reason, the first time I ran my numbers, I don't think I put enough over here, because that says vacation and bills. I did have a couple of bills occur while I was on vacation, and then went on the credit card. I did mark them here. And this wasn't included in all of this. And then this pharmacy wasn't included, and this, was this? No, that was the only thing. This pharmacy wasn't included. These 3 bills weren't included. And then that was just the balance forward. So I may have messed up a little bit. I'm not sure how much. But vacation and bills are right here. And I bet you it's because of this 270.33. Because it was already included up here, I may not have included it there. So if I take 3,171.38 minus the 270.33, and then I add back in the bills, not from here, from here. That happened on vacation, so the $9.99, so $7.41, and the $24.92 plus $4.16, which I already had it on my planner. Okay, and I was off by 10 cents just because I didn't do that number right. So that is where that is. Okay, so that's where I got that number from. I had to take out this $270.33 plus all this miscellaneous in these dark blue because they weren't part of the vacation. I just wanted to move over into my planner exactly what I spent on vacation. These were going to be taken care of out of the paying the bills, and that was taken out in a category already. I have on here, where's my calendar? And let's see, 4/16. There it is. So I already had it here when I did the weekly check-in with you guys. So that accounts for everything. I'm still glad I found that dime. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, that's the money that transferred over as far as bills and vacation stuff that wasn't part of this already. And then I made a payment here of the spending and bills, the rest of spending and bills. I also did a vacation payment. I didn't write it in here, but I did write it in here. $1,000 payment to vacation. So I have spent $1,000 on vacation, or paid $1,000 on vacation already. So that brings this number down. And that $1,000 came from rewards points and $50 from one of my savings account that was just kind of sitting there. So I got $950 cash back in rewards points this year. And I usually cash it out this time every year and use it for vacation or Christmas. And lately it's been vacation every time. So that gives me $2,171.38 that I still have to pay on our vacation. So that will be paid down wherever I can find the income to pay it down. It will sit on the credit card until things are taken care of. Currently, before week 4 of the weekly check-in, we are sitting at, yeah, see, I did the 10 cent adjustment, and I'm going to put vacation, and that was, what was that? Hollywood cars, and I'll know what that's from. So that is where I'm at on my credit card. Some of these are the things I've already charged, but $21.71.83 is what is vacation of this money, of what I owe, and then the rest of it are the spending categories that I've been doing. So that is how I tracked everything. I know it's a little bit all over the map. Hopefully this makes sense to you. If it doesn't, please let me know in the comments below. But using these 2 notebooks, having everything laid out, and then actually printing out my credit card for this month, all the little transactions for this month has helped me a lot to stay on track with everything that I did. And I definitely can see what was vacation and I can see what was not vacation. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it made sense to you. If you like the video and like content like this, please give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.
I get so caught up in the middle, thinking of drowning in those blue eyes. I'm losing sight 'cause I am falling. I'm so deep down, and it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide what this is. Yeah, I keep drowning in those blue eyes, and you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire if it gets too dark.